So earlier on, we talked about the challenges that the increase in digitization in the financial services market have brought. We looked at a few of them. Here we look at what exactly the financial service supervisors, insurance supervisors, government can do to deal with those challenges. Some of the actions need to be taken by the government, some need to be taken by the Financial Service Authority, in a few instances, other related authorities. But let's look at some of them. So we did say that among the challenges were access to digital services, which is still a major barrier to a lot of people, preventing them from participating in the digital financial services market. And therefore, the solution there would be for the government and other relevant institutions to provide the such things as development infrastructure, such as telecommunications, digital credit information systems, collaborative customer due diligence mechanisms, and interoperable digital payment systems. Until these services are made available, people will still not be able to participate in the digital financial services market because they need first to have digital coverage, telecommunication coverage. They also need to have appropriate customer due diligence requirement, and they need to have interoperable payment system. Interoperable payment systems means that various payment systems, but they talk to each other, and you can make payment from one system to the other easily. So payment system also need to be operable. One major thing that stands out here is digital identification. In a number of countries, government are undertaking digital identification systems, and it is really important that as supervisory authorities, we advocate for the efficient and effective completion of such projects if they are already underway in your country, or advocate for it or give the support that we can give to it, because it will help to improve access to digital financial services to the low-income market. The other thing the supervisory authorities can do to deal with the challenges is to have appropriate regulatory enablers. We have seen these challenges. We need to put appropriate regulatory enablers in place to allow service providers to deal with them. So, for example, we need to have regulations for agent and electronic money issuers to be very practical, very detailed, very effective, taking cognizance of the relevant risks so that it can provide the service that it needs to provide. So key regulatory enablers, especially in the area of regulation of agents, e-money, providing appropriate guidance for these operators in the market will be really good, taking due cognizance of the challenges that we have talked about will be really very useful. The other thing that supervisory authorities can do is to encourage innovative fintech entrants. We know that the digital financial services are usually promoted or introduced by the fintechs and the insurtechs. And as regulatory institutions, we need to have appropriate mechanisms to encourage and to admit these players into the market to improve the quality and effectiveness and the controls around the use of digital financial services. These are very important. There are various ways of doing this. There's the use of sandboxes, which we will talk about in another session, the use of pilots, which we will also talk about it in another section, and test and learn approaches and other incentives that could be made available to encourage fintechs and insurtechs to make invest more and provide more efficient, more cost efficient, more consumer protective digital financial services available. We also noted that education was such a major factor in the challenges to digitization because those who lack the appropriate knowledge will find it extremely difficult to make use of such data financial services. So financial literacy programs are really important, and under the COVID situation, it will be really necessary for supervisors to switch to virtual channels for communication, use such channels as social media, YouTube, and other virtual channels that are available to do effective, straight to the point, straight to the target consumer education and financial literacy matters, to explain how these digital payment systems, digital insurance, digital credit, how they work, the controls around them, steps you need to follow, who to contact, how to contact. These need to be practically available on very simple consumer education initiatives delivered virtually to enable those who are still cut off from the digital financial services market to be able to access and also enjoy the services. Another important issue that needs to be dealt with is the approach to the supervision of digital financial services. As financial supervisors, we need to find appropriate approaches to regulating and supervising digital financial services to continue to encourage the service providers and to make it conveniently and cost effectively available to the consumer. So there's the need to adopt effective risk-based supervision to enable innovation that support financial inclusion while mitigating the risks. And supervisors should also avoid deepening the digital and gender divide by way of the supervisory practices and methodologies that we employ effort to regulate and supervise digital financial services. So there are a number of things that we can do as supervisors to deal with the challenges that come with the digitization of financial services, because digitization is the way forward. It is the future of financial inclusion, and everything that we can do, all the resources that can be thrown in there by the financial supervisors to address the challenges that we have looked at. It's important to take a good